Okay, now I just started recording. So the question was, how are we envisioning our mind gremlins? The devil on your shoulders, says Karen. Yep, I could see that. So I think we all have them. We all have that, feeling and that person that in the gremlin form. Maybe it takes, someone said my teenager, it could be our dads, somebody in our childhood, I don't know, oops, anything like that. But the important thing is, there it goes. The important thing is, how are we going to replace what that mind gremlin does to us? Big, heavy, hairy, gross thing that sits on my lap. Okay. Yeah. So how, so that's an interesting thing too, because it's sitting on the lap, on your lap. That can be quite disruptive, not letting you do things you want to do. A whirlwind, says Sandra. So how are we going to replace those gremlins with something that's more pleasant? So one thing is, every time I read up on this, it says something like, the suggestions are something like, when you start saying something like, oh, I'm never going to be able to do this, you replace that with something positive, such as, I'm working really hard at this and I'm proud of myself, or something like that. We've talked before. I always have talked to people about this when I do one-on-one also, that it takes about a month to retrain your brain, to brainwash yourself, to brainwash your own brain. And this is one way of doing it, by replacing those big, nasty gremlin words whispering in our ear with something positive, which we can do. We can totally retrain our brains. So replace the negative thoughts with positive ones, and do it right away, so you don't get, kind of deeper and deeper into a funk, right? So I really personally do believe in mind over matter. Whatever stories we make up in our head, that's probably what's going to happen, or how our life is going to run. So if we're always making up stories about, oh, well, if I don't do that, so-and-so won't like me, or just all these stories and scenarios in our heads that that are taking up a lot of energy, room, and space, and everything in our minds. And I want to stress the energy, all the energy we sometimes do with trying to think about what other people might be thinking or wanting or doing. Put a number 1 in the chat box. Put something in the chat box if this has been you, because it certainly has been my journey, trying to please everybody. Definitely everybody is in there with me, right? We're all in the same boat. But think about it like this. All of that people pleasing we're trying to do really is a disservice to them. A disservice. It's really not being a good friend, not being a good mother, not being a good partner, not being a good daughter. It's not being a good person, basically, if we sit around and try to just please everybody. Because why? Who can give me a good example of why that's not a good thing? Suffocate yourself, can't please everyone, wear yourself out. How about the other person? If we're always trying to take care of the other person, what do we do to that person? We don't let him or her have his or her own decisions. If there are children, we never let them grow up. If there are parents, then we never grew up. And that's not good for them. Their job is to have us grow up. The other person might not want your help, might just want to be your friend, and you're trying to take over for them. It's almost like a controlling thing in a way, or it can be. So let's not make up scenarios in our head and then try to fix them, because maybe they aren't even there, and then we've just borrowed trouble from the future. that wasn't even there, maybe some far distant unknown future that maybe doesn't even have that problem in it. And then think about the past. The past are nothing but shadows. They've already happened. Nothing we can do about them now. Once something is done, it's done. You cannot undo it. Once something is said, it's said. You cannot unsay it. So let's not just live in the past. Sometimes I talk to students and I ask them about their journey, and they tell me all about their journey, everything they did wrong. For a long time, they might spend 10 minutes on it, and then I'll say, okay, well, let's talk about this, and they go back to that. They go back to what they should have been doing, what they didn't do. How come they're not out of school yet? How come this and that? So that is the kind of thing they call living, in the past, being devoured by past shadows. Like they're just devouring you. You can't get away from them. So really, you can't change it. So it's probably the best thing to do is to move on. If there's something we've done that's bad, then you acknowledge it. You take, maybe apologize. But in general, we can't live in the past in these shadows. And it also slows us down. It slows down your ability to write, to learn, to memorize. All of this energy sapping stuff that I've just talked about will not let you memorize, learn things as best as you can. So I know you all have heard me say, you've got to let go of things, and let go of things, watch them fly away. I still believe in that, but I've kind of refined it, and I kind of want to add to it. So first, we're going to recognize whatever we're feeling. We're feeling bad, we're feeling sad, angry, whatever it is, overwhelmed, insecure, inept, whatever we're feeling, we're going to recognize it. Then we're going to allow ourselves to feel it. When I say, let it fly away, let go of it, don't worry about it. I want to make sure we acknowledge, we feel it first. We feel that we're feeling it. So we recognize, okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Then let yourself feel it. Let yourself feel. Don't try to push it away. Just actually feel it. And acknowledge that accept that it's there. Accept that, okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Doesn't mean I'm a bad person. Doesn't mean I'm not a good mother. Doesn't mean I'm not. It just means I'm feeling overwhelmed. That's it. That's it. Just like I'm accepting that I'm feeling this way. And then let it go. So you go through that little process of recognizing, feeling, accepting that it's there, and it's okay that it's there, and then we can let it go. Okay, to dig into this just a little bit more, when we recognize something, then we don't push it away. Now, everybody knows what happens when we push things away, right? They don't go away. They're just lurking to come back. So if you find yourself feeling annoyed, depressed, distracted, sad, overwhelmed, discouraged, just embrace that. It's a part of you. It's what you're feeling. And it'll go away way faster if you don't push it away. And then if you allow yourself to feel it, again, you're not pushing it away. You're allowing yourself to feel it. It will be resolved faster. When we try to push things away, they just kind of lurk there and always come back. Who's had that happen? I'm going to bet every single one of you has had that feeling. So sometimes we have to wait, till our kids go to bed to deal with stuff, or till we come home from work or whatever. But we've all had that. So no use pushing it away. It's just going to manifest itself in other ways. It's going to rear its ugly head. For example, if we feel overwhelmed and we don't allow ourselves to admit that we're overwhelmed to ourselves and that we're feeling it, then it's going to come out and snapping at people. And I don't know, all sorts of other things. Health issues will come. Health issues happen when we don't allow ourselves to feel emotions. And then the accepting means you're going to let go of trying to control it. I feel it. It's there. I'm not going to try to push it away. And then we can talk about letting go after you go through that little process. And the more we go through this little routine, the easier it will be. So letting go of an idea that you can't control other people, right? Sometimes that's our frustration, that people aren't doing what we want. So we have to let go of, let go of it, the fact that we can't control them. All we can control is ourselves. If we just do that one thing, just think of all the energy we will have energy and space in our minds and hearts. And here's a big one. Okay, I'm going to guess this will be the hardest one for everybody. Only worry about what you think of yourself. Just letting that sit there. Only worry about what you think of yourself. Think about the people that we worry about, what they think of us. Are they paying our mortgages, our rent? Are they, I don't know, I could go on and on like that, thinking of examples of what they aren't doing for us. Maybe they're our friends, but even if it's our best friend, we can't worry about what they think of us. We're living our lives by just how we get approval of others, then we will never, never, ever stop using that energy and having it sap us, because we're never going to please everybody. You cannot please everybody. And then leave room for mistakes. You're going to make them. I make them all the time. And take them as learning experiences. Yes, you can definitely free up a lot of mental time if you stop worrying about what other people think and you let yourself have mistakes. We all have them. Doesn't define us. My mistake, last week doesn't mean, okay, that's the kind of person I am that does that bad mistake all the time. No, they're just learning experiences, and any kind of experience that we take on, and just makes us a more well-rounded person. Do something that scares you. If you let your fear hold you back, then you're going to miss out on a lot. Okay, accepting things you cannot change. I love this very much. Again, think of all the mental energy and actual physical energy we waste on wishing things could be the way they should be, or where they think we should be, or I should have done this when I was 18 instead of the other thing. Wow, I'm exhausted just even saying that much. Okay, and allow yourself to feel the emotional, negative emotions. You're allowed to. It's just what you do with them is the important thing. So recognize them, feel them, accept them, and then let them go. And then learn forgiveness. Think about resentments and people that hold grudges, and it could be a little thing, not even a big, I'm not saying everybody's a big grudge holder and whatever, but just think about the energy we spend giving those people who maybe have hurt us or whatever power over us. It's just exhausting. I'm just exhausted even just saying it. So forgiveness can be just, even though you don't want to open yourself up to the same kind of behavior, but it's just letting it go after you do the RFAL. And it just freeing up so much space and everything and energy so that you can write better. Okay, any questions on any of that or comments before we move on to the next area? So at some point, I give you 5 affirmations. I don't have any for this meeting, but if you want me to find you some, definitely I can do that. Can I write a book? No. All right. Okay. Okay, so every time I talk to students, especially when I do one-on-ones, I say that for, for this program to work, to help you get through school faster, you need to check in with me. And there's probably on my list of people who have signed up, all those people don't come, but people who have signed up, there's probably 300, 400 people on my list of people who have signed up. And maybe I get 2 or 3 who check in. So if you want to really progress and you like what I say and you like what I do and you want me to help you, you need to check in with me. Otherwise, I kind of imagine people falling into abyss. I will talk to people and they'll be all excited about what we set up for them and their practice routine, etc. And then I don't hear back from them ever until maybe 6, 7, 8 months. And they say, oh yeah, I'm still in 140 or whatever. Well, I never heard back from them. So we never checked in on what was working, what wasn't working. And to find out, what to do next. So you have to check in. If you want this to work, you check in and we talk about it and we set something up for you. And then you let me know the next week or the next 2 weeks, how's it working? Something's not working. You're not feeling a burst in speed. Then we got to change it. Okay. So you need to check in so you don't fall in that abyss. If you check in right when you're feeling overwhelmed, or let's say you haven't practiced for 3 weeks, no judgment. I don't care if you haven't practiced or not. What I care about is let's see why and see if we can get you back on practicing. There's an accountability if you check in with me all the time, and then the simple act of reaching out keeps you in the present instead of going into that shadows of yesteryear or stories you're making up in your head about the future, right? Okay, any questions? Email is good, yes, and you can message me if you like on Messenger. Email is great though, because then I can search for it, I like people to send me their notes if they want to. There's all sorts of things that I can do that are helpful that we can just do through email. And so let's do it. Just depends. I mean, I'm guessing because there's 40 some of you on this call, in this meeting, that you really want it. If I were to say, how badly do you want it? People will probably write in there really a lot, badly, 100%. Okay, so Aaron, here's interesting. Aaron says, I'm always afraid of bothering people. What's my answer to that? Somebody who's been talking to me for a while, answer that. Oh, you too, and you've been in my groups for a long time. Oh my gosh. Do I have to go back? Do I have to go back to that other slide? Shall I go back there? Didn't want to bother me. So even though I say to you, check in with me, you're not going to do it because you don't want to bother me, even though I've said so? Okay, you guys are killing me. I want 1,000 reporters. If you don't check in with me, I won't get them. So you're actually hurting me by not checking in with me. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm a grown-up. I know one person out here is going to laugh at this little speech. I'm a grown-up. If I say something, then I mean it as a grown-up. I don't need you to take care of me and try to say, oh, but you must be tired. I don't want to bother you. If I can't do something, I will tell you. I spend plenty of time watching TV, walking out around my property, playing with my horses. I'm not busy. I'm only as busy as I want to do, as I want to be. If, for example, I haven't worked for the past, since we've been in shelter in place, I really haven't worked much. So I filled it up with dictations, right? If you're afraid of being judged from your shortcomings, etc. I'm going to go back to that other slide. I wish I had it right in front of me. If you're going to spend time and energy worrying about what people think of you, even if anybody is to judge you, if anybody were to judge you, that's their problem, not yours. You just listen to it and absorb what you think. That person might be right. The person might not be right. Okay? So that's fine. If you guys feel that way, that's fine. But I am a grown-up person. I manage my own life just fine. I don't need you to think about if you're trying to bother me. And that's kind of a cop-out too, in a way. If you say, oh, I might bother her, then you don't have to put any energy in your progress. because you're using me as an excuse. So ponder, chew on that one for a little bit. All right, let's talk about finger drills, which when I was in school, I used to hate it. Yeah, I'm going to repeat that one again just before we go to finger drills. If you are trying to be quote unquote nice and say, oh, I didn't want to bother you, or I thought you would be busy, that's kind of a neat way to escape something that you might not want to do. So don't use me as your excuse that you think I'm too busy. If I'm ever too busy, I will not offer. If I'm offering, it's because I'm a grown-up and I know that I have time and I want to do it, stuff I enjoy. So it's up to you guys if you want to take advantage of what I'm offering. If you don't, then, and you don't progress as much, then I can't help you then. Okay, so I want to talk about finger drills because I was talking to someone earlier about finger drills. You can do, let's say you get a set of finger drills. You can do them one hand at a time or two hands. So if you do one hand at a time, and you can even start with really easy ones like the top simple ones, SH to SH to SR, SH, SR, right? That's good. And then you can do the bottom SH, so put your pinky on the bottom, SH, well, it's still the same, to SH to SR. Okay, and then the right hand will be RD to FZ. So start them alone, and you can put them together. And you can try to go faster. You can do it with a metronome. I actually do finger drills myself now, even though in school I hated them, but I use them now. I do them now, especially if there's something I'm not getting, which I'm gonna in a minute, I'm gonna show you a stroke that I wasn't getting. And so I did some finger drills to help me get them. So you can speed it up, you can do metronome, you can do both hands together. This is just a little practicing drill. But here's an interesting thing. If I'm talking to somebody on the phone, or I'm doing like talking to somebody through a meeting, I am always doing finger drills on my machine as I'm talking, because it's something you can do. You don't have to think about it. I'm actually doing them right now. As I'm talking to you right now, I'm doing my pinky finger drills. So how fast you should do them just all depends on you. Let's go ahead and you choose which one you want to do on these that I have up here right now. Get your fingers ready, practice them for a minute, and we'll do them with a metronome. So pick which ones you want, the more complex or the simple ones. Either one's okay. And we'll start out with this beat. Ready? So if they're really hard, you might want to start this slow. Okay, so that's pretty slow. We can go up to this one. So that's 70. So that KHADWO one, that's about as fast as I can go on that one right now. I wouldn't even be able to go faster right now. I'd have to, practice it a little more and then go up to it. Okay, so you can pick any speed. This one is 30. The other one was 70. But I would suggest you actually just feel it, like the EFPL-T, and then change the EFPL-S. Hold your hand down there, really feel it, get the hand shape just really ingrained in your muscle memory before you try to speed it up. It's better to do it slowly and get it right so that your muscles are learning the right hand shapes than trying to go fast and hitting extra keys and dragging keys, okay? Okay, so here's what we're going to dig into with memorizing recent phrases. We're going to talk about memorization techniques like association and visual versus verbal, hand shaped sentences, handwriting them, flashcards, taking every opportunity to write in steno. For example, I like to text in steno with students, and then spaced repetition. So here's a little video. I hope you can hear it. I shared my sound. But let's just hope you can hear it. I have 2 videos I'm going to show you in this presentation. Okay, let's see if it'll start.
If you'd like to memorize 10 times faster, this video will show how easily you can improve. You remember information in 2 main ways, as words using your verbal memory or as pictures using your visual memory. They're different mental processes and they achieve dramatically different results. People never believe how absolutely crazy the difference is. So here's a challenge for you and you can prove it for yourself. First, let's test your verbal memory. I'll give you a list of 10 words and let's see how many you're able to remember. Here we go. Piano, elephant, truck, bottle, basketball, chair, pineapple, dog, painting, trampoline. Okay, pause the video and write down all the words you can remember.
Okay, I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that. All right, we'll continue on. All right, good.
How'd you go? If you're like the average person, you were able to recall about 5 to 7 words, not necessarily in the right order. So that was your verbal memory. Now let's test your visual memory. I'll give you another list of words, but this time I'll also give a short story and draw a picture. To activate your visual memory, just create a mental picture of everything I describe and draw. You can even close your eyes if you want and just listen to my voice. Here we go. Ferrari. Imagine you're driving a bright red Ferrari with the top down. The music is pumping above the throaty growl of the engine and your hair is blowing in the wind. Chicken. With a loud thump, a giant chicken lands in the seat next to you. It's the size of a person, enormous and yellow. It must have fallen out of the sky. Watermelon. The chicken opens the car door and leaps out onto the road. As it stands there, an enormous green watermelon rolls over the top of it and keeps rolling down the road. Barack Obama. You watch the watermelon roll down the road and straight into Barack Obama. The watermelon splits in half and Obama is left standing there, dripping in watermelon juice. Poodle. Obama picks up a passing poodle and uses it to wipe juice off his face. The poodle is pure white, but as it soaks up watermelon juice, it slowly turns bright pink. Flagpole. Obama throws the poodle away. It flies through the air and lands on the top of a tall flagpole. The weight of the juicy poodle causes the flagpole to slowly topple over. Cake. With a loud and messy splat, the flagpole falls into the middle of an enormous birthday cake. Icing, cream and candles go flying everywhere, raining down on people passing by. Doll. A large dollop of cream lands on the head of an oversized Barbie doll. It creates a weird chemical reaction and the doll shoots into the sky like a space rocket, blonde hair trailing behind her. Pizza. The doll rockets upwards and just as it starts to fall, a large pizza explodes open above her head like a parachute. The pizza is attached to the doll by long strings of melted cheese. Giraffe. The pizza eventually lands on the ground, covering the doll, and a giraffe walks over and starts eating the pizza, bending its long neck and stretching its tongue to lick up the delicious cheese. Skateboard. After eating too much pizza, the giraffe pulls out a skateboard, jumps on it, and starts gliding down the street, ducking signs and streetlights as it rolls along. Cigarette. The skateboard begins coughing and it stops and uses one of its wheels to light a cigarette. The cigarette becomes engulfed in flames and the skateboard throws it away. Statue of Liberty. The flaming cigarette flies through the air and lands on the torch being held aloft by the Statue of Liberty. The torch bursts into flames too. Ice cream. The Statue of Liberty comes alive and thrusts the burning torch deep into a big bucket of ice cream. It's cherry chocolate ice cream that melts and starts to bubble ominously. Fireworks. The ice cream explodes into fireworks, lighting up the sky above the Statue of Liberty with brightly coloured fireworks forming the words, "The End." Okay, pause the video again and write down how many words you're able to recall using your visual memory. The trick is to recreate a picture in your mind of each image in the story.
Okay, give you guys a few seconds to do that. How many did you get? Go ahead and post if you want how many you got.
Did you see the difference? And I did something sneaky. I gave you 15 words, not 10. But the average person would have been able to recall from 10 up to all 15 words, and mostly in the correct order. Leave a comment below and let me know how your verbal memory scored against your visual memory. Visual memory techniques have been around for thousands of years, but for some strange reason, most people only know verbal memory techniques. Verbal techniques are things like acronyms and acrostics, word associations and rhymes, and even songs, and they all need a serious chunk of boring repetition. They can be fantastic for a small number of words, but they don't activate the amazing power of your visual memory. If you'd like to activate the stunning power of your visual memory to memorize the entire periodic table of elements, head over to memorizeperiodictable.com.
Okay, so when I did those two exercises, I definitely got more the second time, but not 15 like you guys. Great, that's good. So see how that visualization works. It makes you,
and check out,
sorry, okay, let's go to the next one. It makes you remember things better. So that's going to be our first kind of technique to look at. So what I have here is, when I went to core reporting school, I learned to write the word but, PBU. That was my word but. So then I could phrase only but the. That was basically all I could phrase. So more recently with the Magnum Steno theory I've been implementing for the past 9 years or whatever, I wanted to change it to the way he writes but, which is TKPWHR. That's but. So then I can do but he, but you, but it's like there's so many phrases. And also I wanted to learn the word because, SKPR. These were both really hard for me. I learned because, PBAUS, in the because, to write because at school, which means I can only do because the or because of and stuff like that. But with the SKPR, I can learn many more phrases. I can use many more phrases. Jacqueline, can I go back to my first memory screen? Which, you mean when I'm done with the whole thing or right now? Okay, I'll go now because it's closer. So which was my first memory screen? Let's see. Not that. That one? Okay, did you just want to see it or did you have a question? Okay, good. All right, so I'll go back over here to the other one. Let me advance here. Come on. Here, we already saw that. Don't want to start that again. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I was having trouble with both of these, the because and the but. That but is like really weird for me. I don't know. But, okay, so then I applied some of these techniques to it. For example, the association. A student told me that TKP, WLR is GL, and she said, oh, it's a gluteus. That's like your gluteus is your butt, right? So now you know the real reason I do these meetings, because I get really good ideas from students. So keep them coming. Okay, so then it made GL so easy for me to write but. Also the stroke I have for absolute is SLAOT, so SHRAOT. And the way I remembered that was a soldier must absolutely salute his or her superior. For some reason that helped me, that association. Do you kind of get the idea of association? So if you have a stroke, I used to write Nevada, for example, NV, but then I wanted to use that for envy, the word envy. So I changed Nevada to NAEVD. And somehow that just worked because I was incorporating the words. But when I wrote it, I could see a desert for some reason. So I associated NAEVD. Every time I would write it, I would think of a desert. And that's how I remembered Nevada, like that. I don't know, things like that. Anything, it could be something really funny, like a pickle running down a beach, which has nothing to do with what the word is or the stroke is, but that helps you remember it. Okay, and then my SKPR, and also when I was learning the right-hand phrase ender, oh, sorry, my SKPR must be next. This is another one I had trouble with. RPG is a phrase ender for these. I could not remember it for the life of me. And so finally I looked at my hand shape and said, it looks like I'm flipping somebody off. So take this, I say it with an accent, like a French accent. Take this. And that was my V's. That's how I remembered. I associate it with flipping somebody off, as do I with this shape also. But this one also reminded me of a claw. So this is the left-hand phrase starter for because. It reminds me of a claw, the hand shape. And so I would think always, and I had a hard time getting this shape, even just physically, and I had a hard time remembering it. So when I started thinking about because the claw says so, then I could remember it. So these are kind of associations. I don't know if they're really mnemonics, but it's definitely some sort of association with it that you picture in your mind. And I always picture in my mind these things when I'm trying to learn them. So if you have something that is kind of just not hitting you, you can't remember it, but you don't want to change it, then think of some story. Now here's where I give you permission to make up stories in your head. So you think of something that associates it with you. It doesn't really even matter what it is. It's just whatever picture you think of that will make you remember that stroke. Okay, so here's some more ideas. It's been proven that when you're trying to memorize vocabulary, for example, it's been proven that if you try to memorize it in a sentence, and this could be English vocabulary or some other language you're trying to learn, that if you put it in a sentence, you will remember it better and quicker. So same is true for steno. If you have, if you just have a whole list of words you're trying to learn, maybe you won't be able to learn them as well. They just are boring and you're doing this rote thing of just doing the words. Well, the ones that you're having trouble with, make little sentences with them. And can be even if you're just beginning theory. I mean, if you're learning, my first theory words were Hal had a pup and pop. Hal had a pop, sought. Those were my first theory words, where you can make up little sentences with just those. And it'll help you memorize them better. Actually writing them with pen and ink. As I said, I like to text with students. You can actually write them with pen and ink, and that helps sometimes. Flashcards are really good. And like I said, take every opportunity to write in steno if you can, even if it's just with pen and ink, or even if it's on a tabletop and you're just kind of doing air steno. Okay, and the last one I want to share with you is something called spaced repetition, which is really, really good. What is the phrase ender for this is the question. It is TSDZ, and then that is LGTS. Okay, so here's a little short thing about what spaced repetition means.
From the day you take your first breath to the day you take your first steps, from the day you speak your first words in a new language to the day you discover the passion of your life, you're always learning. We all spend so much time learning, so it's worth asking, what is the best way to learn? Is there anything we can do to learn things more quickly and remember them longer? The usual way we approach learning is also one of the worst. We've all been there. Before an exam or interview or presentation, we cram as much information into our noggins as we can and leave it at that. Ask us a couple of months later though, and our precious new knowledge is nowhere to be found. The science behind learning actually tells us there's a better way to get smarter faster. According to the science, the most efficient way to learn is by using a technique called spaced repetition. A spaced repetition system works by asking you to review information at increasingly longer intervals. So if you learn something today, a spaced repetition system might show it to you again tomorrow, then in 3 days, then next week, and so on until it has lodged itself securely in your long-term memory. Spaced repetition algorithms can also optimize your review intervals according to your performance by tracking how well you remember each item. The algorithms can adjust individual intervals so that you spend more time with those things you can never remember and less time with those things you already know well. The result? Much less time spent actually studying while remembering everything much better. Whether you're training to be a professional, learning a new language, or just love knowing a little about everything, all you need is your phone and a bit of time each day to incorporate spaced repetition into your routine. With CleverDeck, you can get smarter about getting smarter.
Okay, so spaced repetition. I learned about this when I'm learning languages, but it works for everything. I will say that I'm always trying to change my writing every day. And so that same because stroke, remember the claw? Because the claw said so. I was having a lot of trouble with that. And at one point I just said, forget it. I'm not even going to try right now. And I went a week without even trying. And when I tried again, then it just stuck. So sometimes you have to walk away from things and come back later. Different time increments we're going to talk about in a second that you can use for the spaced repetition. Sometimes I've been over the past 2 years learning 2 languages at once, Italian and Armenian. And I find that when I'm getting stuck, I'll focus on one and then just dabble in the other one, just kind of do a review on the other one. So when I'm stuck in the main one I'm studying, I just leave it and do something else. And when I come back to it, I remember things that I didn't even remember I studied. So Anki, yes, Allison mentions Anki. There's also Quizlet. There's different things you can do for spaced repetition. But you can also set up your own schedule for it. So, oops. Okay, so here is kind of a sort of a schedule. You know, you do the first review would be day 0. And then you might review the next day, then skip a couple days, then maybe go 3 or 4 days. Even without doing a schedule, if you don't tell yourself, I've got to sit down and learn these, I've got to sit down, you will naturally gravitate towards doing spaced repetition. It just happens naturally when we let it. When we let our brains do what they're supposed to, as opposed to making up stories and making us feel bad, but when we let them do what they're supposed to, then it does gravitate towards this kind of spaced repetition. So there's also something that I came across called the Fibonacci sequence. And that's a sequence of numbers. So it starts with 0 and then 1, and then 0 plus 1 is 1, and 2 plus 1 is 3, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 5 is 13, 13 plus 8 is 21, and so on. So you can set up your schedule using those numbers too. So first review is day 0, and then you might want to do it again on you know, the second one, and then on 3, and then 8. Now this could be for hours. So let's say you're learning, you're in theory and you're learning new briefs today. So you can start out and do your first review at say 8 a.m. So you review them, and then you let those ones go and you do something else, and you come back 3 hours later and do that review of those ones that you were just learning. Then you might do 2 hours later. Then you might do it 8 hours later. You might not come back to those same ones until the next day. It's proven that you learn better that way than if you try to cram all these stuff into your head, sitting there for hours and hours. Okay, and here's another schedule of the Fibonacci kind of method. So say you want to learn these phrases, you review them on the first day, and then you might review them again on day 2, then maybe again on day 5, and so on, following that Fibonacci thing, or anything you want to do. So Sandra says she did it naturally in theory, but not in speed building. So you can totally do it in speed building too. For example, I practice for speed contests, and I don't know if they're going to cancel the convention in August, but I'm aiming for that. So I'll practice a speed contest take, and I'll do my method that many of you know, where I slow it down, and then maybe I take it piece by piece, a minute at a time, and then I go back up to target speed. But sometimes I'm just not getting it. I'm not getting it right. There's pieces that no matter what I do, I can't get. So I put that one aside, and I do another one for a while, and then I come back to that first one that I was having trouble, and it's not as bad as it was before I left it. So sometimes our brains just are fed up with it, and we need to leave it and come back later, whatever it is, speed building or theory or vocabulary or medical terminology, anything. So Amanda, I also use GT for get, but my brain knows when it's get and when it's not. And then if there's a conflict, I add the asterisk. So for example, these I would add all the asterisks to, would be go to as opposed to get. So this would be my we get, and then with asterisk would be we go to. So I guess that's the answer. The alternative is adding the asterisk, which is what I do. That's how I write them, with the asterisk. Okay, so this is what we've gone over today. I guess I could have waited till I got here. It's the same slide. I forgot. Anyway, we've talked about some memorization techniques, associating things with visuals in our head, and then also verbally, hand shapes, maybe sentences, handwrite them, the flashcards, Quizlet. I like Quizlet, but Anki is good too. And take every opportunity to write in steno, be it on your machine, be it on your lap, be it with a pen and paper. You know, you can write secret notes to yourself in steno, just like my dad and I used to write each other notes, but you can write yourself a secret note and put it up, and then nobody will know what it is. And then the spaced repetition, if you need more information on it, there's a lot of information on it if you Google it. So spaced repetition is really, really good. It really works for everything. So anything you're learning in school, steno, English, medical terminology, all of that, it will work for that too. Any questions? comments, ideas? I hope this was clear enough. I really wanted to share with you because I do get that question a lot about how to practice and how to memorize things. And I kind of never thought about it, but the spaced repetition is kind of what I do naturally. And then also I recently started trying to do more visualizations. Is there a limit as to how many we should try to study at a time? Well, many of you have also heard me talk about fives, right? So not necessarily that you can only study 5 at a time, but if you're having trouble with some, I would focus on 5. And the fives is you take 5 words or phrases, put them in 5 sentences, make a little video, a little audio of it, and then do that 5 times a day for 5 days. But as far as learning new things, you can try, like I was talking to somebody this morning, and she was learning a whole bunch of new words. And so maybe you can try it first, trying to learn them all. But if you're having any sort of trouble, break it down, do 10 or 15 at a time. So it just depends on you. Everybody's different and everybody learns differently. Okay, any other questions? Jordana wants me to write a book. Okay. Yeah, little tweaks make a huge difference. Okay, good. That's a good point. Little tweaks. Focus on little accomplishment, little wins. Little wins are important. And here's another thing. Yes, thank you, Roderick. 5 words or phrases. Doesn't have to be words. Make 5 sentences, 5, and you can record a little audio of it. And do that 5 times a day for 5 days. Really helps you remember too. But also think about it. It's kind of a spaced repetition. You might do it once in the morning, then 3 hours later, then 5 hours later, right? So it's also kind of that spaced repetition. Write a book, yeah, maybe. Maybe one of you should be my ghostwriter and do it for me. Help me do it. Okay, I forgot what I was gonna say. The idea of the book. Oh, little wins. Okay, email me. Little wins. So I always ask students, how fast do you write? And they want to tell me what their last test was, or what last test they passed. And I don't really care about tests. I want to know how you feel. Do you feel like you're writing at 160? If you feel like you're writing at 160, then that's where you're writing. You might not be able to pass a test, but you definitely can write at 160. So if you feel by doing some of these things that I suggest, or by when you practice, if you don't see an improvement in a test, think about focus more on how you feel about it. How you feel about it. Are you feeling faster, or are you feeling all muddled still? Do you need to slow down for a week and do slow stuff? But how are you feeling? That's the important thing. And celebrate the little dinky wins. Like, I feel fast today. May not look like it, but I feel fast today. That's a win. I don't eat a certain way for daily practice. Probably should, though. I have been exercising pretty much every day since we've been shelter in place, which is a good thing. Okay, any other questions or comments before I go to the announcements? And sorry, we kind of ran over today, but I guess maybe that's a good thing because almost everybody is still here.